We are back with Contradiction. It's 11 p.m. and weren't we supposed to solve this at or by midnight? Let's get on that. So let's go to... I think it was around here. Welcome to the clearing in the woods. And we get a scene immediately.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to.
Jesus.
Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out, Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments.
Yeah, like these day for night shot is just a blue filter. But nice and clear. And look, we just found something without even having to click.
Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
Just takes him and leaves.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
Yeah, about that, actually. Let's go behind the Brandon house. And now that we're here, we can use that key fob we just found. I hope no one hears this. God help me if Paul finds out.
Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one.
I would have written 500 pounds with like 0, 0 over 100, but this says 500 pounds only, like in all caps. That's just kind of amusing. Only! But anyway, let us move on to... Oh. Oh, hey. We're definitely going to Abbey Farm now. Are you kidding me? Something was passed off. Up the steps. Look in the greenhouse. I don't know if I can actually click anything in here. Let's leave the greenhouse. Oh yes, further up. Yeah, is this even legal? Probably not. Large greenhouse. Now I can investigate. To one of the more fun things to ask people about.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's
Poppy
got some
pods.
explaining to do.
We get to ask about puppy pods. And now, let's go to Eden Lodge, of course. Simon, please. The guy we
A few more
concluded the last
questions, if you
chapter
don't
with.
mind.
And now let's ask him about what we can. just the new thing. That's it, I think. Yeah, that's it. Let's ask about puppy pods.
Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
But I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so.
Now, it may be a little tough to remember from last time, but he and Kate took morphine in the mirror room, and he just told us that he's allergic to opiates.
Aha. You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
What do you mean, test her?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me, and the other person's the...
Victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
Atlas seemed to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate?
Interesting question. Let's
Thank
just
you. Probably be back
hit up
later.
Emma to see if she has anything for us. Okay. Puppy pods.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. It's okay.
Alright, and prime candidates.
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
Yeah, Winterburn, this is gonna be a real empty town once we arrest everyone involved in the murder. What, are you gonna go arrest the whole village?
That's all
Not
fine.
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, James all left on his own. Maybe selling tea to Emma and the mad woman. Ugh. Miserable freaking place. Speaking of James, let's set him up. I don't know if he knows about the prime candidate, but if he does, I'm sure he'll be full of conspiracy theories.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Questions.
What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling them to grannies.
Okay, James, let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that.
Scout's honor.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No, I didn't. Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
He finally woke up at the last second. Prime candidates? Okay, he wouldn't know. Fair enough.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Alright, that takes care of that. Now, at long last, let's confront Ryan. Enter the building. I believe he was in the left room. Lounge?
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Okay, we're good. Alright, so we got this stuff. Alright, Atlas Mirror Room, let's go.
Can you tell me what you know about the mirror room upstairs?
Oh, you found that then. Well, it's very similar to the costumes, Inspector. It's designed to help the students look at themselves differently.
And what do you do with the mirrors?
You look at yourself, Inspector. You look at yourself until you start seeing yourself as others do. And you don't see yourself as you do anymore. It really, the idea is that you can see yourself eventually any way you wish.
So why in a locked room?
To make sure you're not distracted, that's all.
How often is it used?
Not often, a few times a month. Some students find it useful, some don't.
Fair enough, I guess. The fob, the check.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
What is your first name, Inspector? Kate. Last name? I don't know. Now about those puppy pods.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods? Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
Poppies will make them sleep. Now, prime candidates, this guy probably knows something about that.
Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students. The ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It's a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives, more than I.
A motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
It was awfully shady. But I do find it kind of interesting that this mysterious institution that provides students with top jobs all over the world, the rich elites, is just in this random village. But anyway, we have some questions here. This is something that I don't know if I would have remembered. Atlas auto-hypnosis. Students are not coerced or bribed in any way. Hello? The entire existence of the 500 pounds check for Kate. A little incentive.
Aha. So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
I mentioned this before, but I really love how Ryan gets so mad when he's backed into a corner. Now, back to the auto-hypnosis. He gave Kate the money to test or assess. Just a little incentive, But then we have the prime candidates question. Students aren't tested.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate?
Yes.
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference.
Oh my god, he put down the
If
drink.
someone decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
He's so mad he clipped the mic several times.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, there's nothing more to ask Ryan. I would like to ask everyone everything. This is endgame. We're really near the end now. I don't know if there's much more to ask. Yeah, Kate's status. Why not?
Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen. Just because she was, Kate.
You didn't discuss it with Kate?
No. No, she never talked about Atlas.
Okay, bye,
Okay,
Simon.
that's it for now. Thank you.
Simon probably could answer this question. That's prime. Okay.
How do you think you'd have reacted if you'd found out that Kate had been chosen to be prime candidate?
Was she?
I'm just asking how you think you'd react.
I don't know. I wouldn't react in any way, really. I'm not bothered. I don't think she was, though.
What makes you think that?
Well, it's just an impression I got. She's a bit flaky, to be honest. She's just not really prime candidate material.
Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Only a few people left and we're gonna finish this game. Can you believe it? I'll save Paul for later. I guess really all that's left is James before there's Rebecca, Paul, and James. I guess I'll hit up Rebecca. I'll save Paul for last. Because I want to hit up Paul. Press the bell.
ask you a couple more things, please?
Okay, we'll start with the mirror room.
Do you know anything about a locked room at Atlas with mirrors in it?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think that's a question for Ryan.
That's the end of that, sorry. Check, she wouldn't know. Poppy pods.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
Brief. Prime?
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas? It's the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
And what happens then?
They get sacked.
Very just blunt. Kate's prime status?
Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Well, sorry to bother you.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Who's left? I think it's just James, because I don't think I can meet the woman who's paranoid about mirrors. But again, if James didn't know about the prime stuff, he probably won't know this either. So then it's just down to Paul. Nope. Sorry.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
I literally just walked in. A few more questions. Actually, that's all. Bye. Just leave him hanging. Let's go hit up Paul, the scariest man in the game. I head to Brandon House, please.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Okay, mirror room. Alright, mirror room. We can start from there.
Can you tell me about the room with the mirrors at Atlas? The one with the combination lock?
How did you get in there?
I was given the code for the combination.
By Ryan?
Well, nobody else is allowed to know the code, are they?
I'm not in theory.
So how is the room used on the course, then?
It's a meditation room where the students can reflect on themselves, literally.
And what about the CD?
Well, that helps too. It's part of the program.
So you send the students into the room, they put the CD on, they stare into the mirrors. And how long does this last for?
Until the CD finishes or they fall asleep. What else would you like to know?
The check. This'll be uncomfortable.
Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a check for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
Fair enough. Poppy pods. I hope Paul says it out loud.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pods?
Yes.
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
Wow. I keep forgetting, I keep hyping up Paul as Mr. Scary, but I always forget how insanely quickly he shuts things down if he doesn't know or feel like talking about them. Do you know about Poppy Pods? No. Alright, sorry to bother you.
What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Oh, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
You sounded like the Wishmaster for a second there. The peaches. And finally, Kate's prime status.
Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just
work it out among themselves.
It isn't very professional to force students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
You don't use threshold testing, for instance?
No. If Simon Thompson went too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
Both Paul and Ryan are really just throwing Simon under the bus. Makes you kind of hope he's guilty, because otherwise, damn, just a frickin' scapegoat. But it's a good thing Jenks leans toward the don't use threshold testing thing, because that's pretty obvious. We just watched it happen. But anyway, if we go back to the Atlas mirror room, we have the CD in mirror room used on the course. But they don't use threshold testing.
Aha. You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
Well, if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're gonna have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
What an amazing speech.
I'll see myself out.
You know where the door is.
Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
Hello there, Avery Kitsune. Welcome to the stream.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him. He's a policeman. We can't just... You sort this, Ryan. You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
Just pulls out a gun immediately. You'd think that would be the chapter end, right? Where the time changes, but no, it's just within.
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad.
I gotta run over to that payphone.
I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.
We don't even have any new questions, do we? But regarding Kyle, we know where to find that guy.
you're man enough to do this, Kyle. And then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector.
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard. Not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Inspector. What are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
I don't think you'd understand, Inspector. The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away, and leave us to it.
Knife.
What?
That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
This is all part of the Atlas course. It's a physical endurance exercise.
Drop the knife. The knife, Kyle!
Kyle.
Drop it! Drop it. Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Well, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Now look, Inspector, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Eyewitness account of a satanic sacrifice in the woods. That's not what we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So are you telling me...
Ooh, topical.
Simon killed her. Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
Any more likely than you, Ryan?
Is there a reason she didn't say anything? Is she gagged under the mask or what?
Pig! I know. Police brutality.
What kind of employee is Kyle gonna be?
You okay?
Just walks off. Not even runs, just walks off. We're done.
You save someone from being sacrificed, and that's the thanks you get. If that wasn't an occult ceremony, I don't know what is. The Rands have been lying all along. But what's Simon going to say about Ryan's accusation?
Speaking of which, I'm going to hit everybody up just to see what happens. There's obviously no point in asking Ryan about it. I'll save Simon for last because you know this is a big moment. I'll see James, but God only knows what he'll say. Probably nothing.
Couple more questions, if that's okay?
No, we can do this.
Do you know how well Simon knew Kate?
Not really?
Did you ever see them together?
No, why? Do you think he killed her?
I've no idea. Do you think he'd be capable of that?
Do you think we're all capable of it?
No, I don't.
Sure. So you've never been in your police car responding to an incident, driven past a school at high speed?
Dunno. Maybe.
Well, you've answered your own question then. When you've got a need and things get in your way, it's human nature to either ignore them or get rid of them. Any way you can. That's all murder is, isn't it?
Maybe you're right.
Interesting. Everyone's
Later
capable.
on, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, everyone's capable of murder, and that's this whole game. Save Simon for last, of course. Paul, this ought to be rich. Paul's probably going to agree with it, though. Can I not access the Brandon house? Oh, he did tell us to excuse him. He's a busy man. Okay, sorry. Instead of Rebecca.
A few more questions, please.
Questions. Oh, nope, nothing. Sorry. Okay, let's go to Simon and Emma. Why not? Let's seal the deal. I'll do Emma first because they told us to ask Simon, but she probably won't have anything. Well,
Did
Simon mention walking home with anyone after the meeting last Friday?
No, he just came home. Why?
He didn't mention walking home with Kate.
No, definitely not.
Done. Okay, Simon.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Ryan's accusation. This ought to be good.
What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same person who suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
What? Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I'm in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving license, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving license, please. See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something. See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
So?
So there's only one person that's taped like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving license got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay, it's one of the things we do at the course, right? You give something that's important to you to someone else, then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you to not be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving license to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out, she goes down looking for it, probably drunk, and she falls in.
I'm afraid I find that a bit far-fetched, Simon.
It makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas works.
Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
He told me he doesn't lend it out.
He lent it to you.
Yeah, really.
But I didn't kill her. Do a lab test on the card. His DNA will be all over it.
And what if yours is all over it?
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
Awkward. You just hear a car start. We're getting quite the scene for this.
Where did he go in such a hurry? Was he trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
I don't, like, he's not going to be here, is he? Yeah, there's just nothing. Simon's probably out of here. If he really didn't kill her, then this was a dumbass move. Yeah, there's no Simon option. Sorry.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
All I have is the sticky tape.
Have you seen this anywhere before?
I've seen it somewhere, but can't remember. Sorry, no.
Now, honestly, like, I'm gonna hit up James just for fun, but there's really only two people this tape could possibly be relevant to. Rebecca for the window, and Ryan, who was directly accused. So I'll get James out of the way.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Ever seen tape like this anywhere before?
No.
Done.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Come to think of it, though, Rebecca and Ryan are with each other, so I guess it would be their sticky tape, wouldn't it? Oh, really?
suppose it was too much to hope that Ryan had left the place open.
Can I not get Ryan? Is he just not here? He's not in the lake junction and he's not at the clearing. Guess we're talking to Rebecca. Sorry. Bing.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Okay, the tape. That's all we got.
Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Oh, Ryan's got some. I know, because I borrowed it.
When was that?
A couple of months ago?
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
Well, this is an important contradiction, isn't it? Because remember, she taped over the broken window. That's pretty obvious. This is way early game. But this is the only time we've ever heard of tape until just now. So I gotta scroll quite a bit. Here we go. Yeah, taped over the broken window to make it safer, and yet she just told us she saw this thing 2 months ago.
Aha. You last saw that sticky tape 2 months ago, is that correct?
Yes.
So how come you used it last week to tape over the broken window outside? That's the same tape.
Well, I must have been mistaken.
You see, the reason I'm asking is that it's exactly the same tape that was found attached to Kate's driving license, found at the scene. The tape that only Ryan has. Ryan, and of course, you.
So what are you saying?
Who's got the tape now? Do you know where it is?
No. No, I don't know where it is. Why are you asking me about this tape?
You seem nervous, Rebecca. Is there a problem?
Well, you're practically accusing me of having something to do with that woman's murder, aren't you?
I wasn't accusing you of anything, Rebecca. Unless there's something you'd like to tell me.
No, I wouldn't like to tell you anything.
Okay, well, that's fine. Obviously, we'll be swabbing everyone in the area for DNA, so if anything comes up on Kate's license, DNA traces.
What'll come up? Nothing will come up. Right, I've had enough. I've got to get back.
Rebecca! Would you like to explain to me exactly what is going on?
Which bit? The fact that some leggy bitch was trying to steal my husband?
I think you had better tell me what you know, Rebecca.
Okay. You want to know what I know? Kate Vine seduced my husband and was going to blackmail him. Not only did she sleep with him, that whore did it just for his money, our money.
How did you work that out?
I heard her. I knew it was her arguing with Emma Bowman. Emma was trying to talk her out of it.
And how did she come to be at the lake?
She dropped that driving license thing when she came in. She was drunk. She dropped her bag. I took it out to the woods and stuck it over the lake. Then I waited for her. When she came out, I told her where it was, said someone had just run off into the woods with it.
You led her to the lake.
She was reaching out over the lake to get it. I didn't do anything. She just fell in.
But you let her drown.
It was dark. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't help her.
Really? Did you try, Rebecca?
Well, it was too late. She was just flapping about in the water. It was pathetic. She was making these gurgling sounds.
And what did you do?
I got a big stick. I just pushed her down with it until she stopped. Well, she was dead anyway. What did it matter?
You killed her, Rebecca.
But she slept with my husband.
She didn't, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
You got the wrong girl.
Who? Emma. It was Emma.
Rebecca Rand, I am arresting you for the murder of Kate Vine. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and will be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, it appears that Kate Vine's death was a tragic case of mistaken identity. But there are some loose threads here. What was Ryan doing with Kyle and that girl in the woods? What if I hadn't interrupted? And what really happened to Liam last year? It seems I've only scratched the surface of Atlas and the Rand business empire. Trying to find out about Paul Rand's past is like peering into dense fog. He gives nothing away and covers his tracks with military efficiency. However, what is known is that Paul Rand has a lot of connections in high places, politicians, celebrities, business leaders. Perhaps James Wilson's ideas weren't too wide of the mark after all. I get the feeling there's still a lot more to learn about the Rand business empire.
You're gonna have to excuse us. Atlas is closed for the moment, but we'll be open again very soon. Thank you for your interest.
Man, that's such good stuff. I love that. It is a little weird that the contradiction leads straight to a confession. There's no, like, who do you think did it moments, like in, I know it's not the same company at this point, but like in Dr. Decker or the Shape-Shifting Detective. It really would be interesting to see a sequel to this game, although I don't believe that Paul's actor, what was his name? I know I just missed the casting. It was something Darrow? Or is his name actually Paul? But I don't believe he's any longer with us. But they said very soon, but I think the last game they made was 2020 or 2021. And it's apparently the, it's a horror game? I don't know if it's tied to this. I doubt it. And Dragon Ace, no, I don't believe, like, this was, what was this company called? Like, Baggy Cat or something like that? But the company that released it is Paul Darrow. Oh, he died in 2019, though. Okay. I do remember there's something weird in the credits, like, it said, like, dedicated to Paul Darrow, and it's like, oh no, did he die? But, like, no, he actually didn't, but, yeah, 4 years later. Man, what a guy, though. But, the company that released Dr. Decker and everything was... I forgot the name. Something with whales in it? Yeah, see, here's Baggy Cat Entertainment. Unless the company rebranded itself, I'm not sure. Yeah, it says dedicated to Paul Darrow. Like, oh no, but he was still alive at the time this game was released. But the like, what was it called? Like Whales Interactive or something? They did Dr. Decker and Shape-Shifting Detective, but the actor who plays Jenks shows up in Shape-Shifting Detective. Emma's actress is Bronwyn in Shape-Shifting, I believe. And there was another one. Who was in... Oh, of course. And Ryan was in Dr. Decker as a quantum theorist who's like, if I pull this trigger, pointing this gun at myself, there's no way I will die because of multiple realities, and this is the reality where I live. Like that thing. He was that guy. Okay, Winterburn. Yeah, Davecki, if I'm pronouncing that right. Studios Limited was Dr. Decker, and it was also Shape-Shifting Detective. And they also did a spin-off of those radio personalities from Shape-Shifting Detective, which I look forward to playing. Okay, and Whales Interactive was the publisher. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so surprisingly different studio or dev or whatever, but you could see the same actors come up, and it's great to see them doing different roles. It's just fun to see Jenks' actor as the chief in Shape-Shifting Detective. Go on, get me results, there's the door. But in any case, this was Contradiction, Spot the Liar, and we spot the liar. It was great. So thank you very much for watching the stream, and have a wonderful night.